What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, coming to you with another NBA playoff prediction. I know you guys love this series. I didn't know it was going to do this good, but it's been a pretty good series. So we're going to talk about the Atlanta Hawks and the Cleveland Cavaliers. I picked the Chicago Bulls to win the series, and they was garbage. They struggled. They was inconsistent. They was stagnant offensively, and they was giving up too many possessions defensively, and they lost game 4 and game 5 by LeBron hitting the game winner and by LeBron closing out game 5 in attack mode. They had a chance to win that series. Now, like I said, the Chicago Bulls, this is only going to get harder for them to beat the Cleveland because next year they're going to be healthy, hopefully, and it's going to be harder to beat them in a 7-game series because they weren't even healthy and J.R. Smith got suspended. So with that being said, it's kind of sad that the Chicago Bulls could even beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, who not even at full strength, and they still lost. Now the Atlanta Hawks are fully healthy, and they've been playing mediocre basketball. They was playing even in the Brooklyn Nets series. They was playing basketball that was good enough to win. They weren't playing championship basketball. They wasn't playing amazing basketball. The Atlanta Hawks played good enough to win. And I feel the same way about the Cleveland Cavaliers. They played good enough to beat the Bulls, and they played good enough to beat the Celtics. Like the Celtics series was close every game. And the Cavaliers just pulled it out because LeBron James' isolation just scored. So I think both of these teams are evenly matched right now. If they had Kevin Love, I think that I obviously would pick the Cavaliers in like 6. But now I don't really know who gonna win this series. I'm not trying to cop out my pick, but I think these teams are evenly matched. I know they're gonna probably put DeMarre Carroll on LeBron to slow him down. LeBron struggled against Jimmy Butler. He only had like 2 efficient games out of 6, so he struggled against Jimmy Butler. I give credit to the Bulls defense, and I think they're gonna do the same thing against Atlanta. Now, the thing about it, Atlanta has the same problem as Chicago now. Atlanta just struggles to score offensively. Dennis Schroeder hasn't been going to the paint, scoring enough. He been blowing a lot of layups. He been blowing a lot of jump shots. Jeff T been inconsistent. Some games he take over, some games he doesn't. The best player on this team has been Paul Millsap and Al Horford. Al Horford has really been stepping up, attacking the paint, attacking the glass, finishing the jump shots, knocking down a 3-point shot. Al Horford been a best player in the playoffs so far, and he's been a most consistent player in the playoffs. Paul Millsap has been playing amazing. He's the most versatile player on the court. He can do a lot of mismatches. He can do a lot of bullying. He's so quick. He can play make. He can knock down the jumper. He can get to the free throw line. Paul Millsap is the most versatile player on a court. They have to give him his money because he's obviously, to me, the most important player. Jeff T. Kyrie Irving is known for having bad defense. So we're gonna see how if Jeff T can exploit Kyrie Irving defense. Can he attack him? Can he keep him moving? Can he make Kyrie Irving work on defense? So I think the Cavaliers and Atlanta Hawks, I think it's just gonna have to go down to the matchup and the mismatches, and it's gonna have to go down to the coaching. Like I said about the Wizards series, who's the better coach? Both of these teams are evenly matched since Kevin Love is out, and I think that it's gonna come down to coaching. I think Mike Budenholzer is the best coach, but I just don't think LeBron James. You just can't bet against LeBron. I did it last series, and I regretted it because LeBron just took over when it mattered. Even in the Celtics series, when they needed a bucket, LeBron was always there getting the buckets. He always there taking over, and he was a closer. Now, like I said, it's gonna come down to Jeff T. Can he exploit Kyrie Irving defense? It's gonna come down. Can they lock down Kyle Korver? Can DeMarre Carroll do a good enough job on LeBron James? Is Paul Millsap gonna have the same ability to take over against a player like Tristan Thompson, who athletic and keep up with him and has the size and the quickness to stay with him? Can Mozgov stay with Al Horford? Can he stop the pick and pop? Is they gonna put Mozgov on the bench and put LeBron at the 4? But then Al Horford gonna have to be able to post up. So this series gonna have a lot of mismatches, and it's gonna have a lot of coaching. They're gonna have to put out the right lineups to get the advantage. So this series right now is gonna be about the matchups. Who gonna exploit the matchup? So I don't really know who gonna win this series. I'm probably have to go with the Cavaliers in 6 because the Atlanta Hawks have just been inconsistent. They've been stagnant offensively. They haven't been moving the ball as well. They haven't been finishing in the paint as well. They kind of lost their identity in the Brooklyn Nets series. They barely beat the Washington Wizards the last two games. They played good enough to win. And against the Cleveland Cavaliers, who got the offensive firepower that the Wizards lack and the Nets lack, they got the consistency. They got the players, the right players that take over. They can put Iman Shumpert on Jeff Teague. They can put DeMar Carroll on him. They can put Iman Shumpert on Jeff Teague and put Kyrie on Kyle Korver. And then they can just put LeBron on Paul Millsap. So it's all about the matchups and who's going to exploit them. Coach Budenholzer going to have to coach his ass off to get to the NBA Finals. And the same with David Blatt. His offense has become more isolation and more flat. David Blatt needs to coach better, and he did that in Game 6. In Game 5, in the Cleveland Bulls series, David Blatt got more comfortable and he exploited some matchups. Now I'm gonna go with Cleveland in 6 because I think they got the better defensive players. Like I think Mozgov can stay with Al Horford. I think Iman Shumpert can guard Jeff Teague. I think Kyrie Irving, all he gotta do is chase Kyle Korver, but Kyle Korver can't shoot over him. But all he gotta do is contest it. I think LeBron can slow down Paul Millsap. I think the Cavaliers match up good enough, and I think they got better since the season got better. Over because they struggled against the Hawks earlier in the season because the Cavaliers lost their identity. Now I think the Cavaliers, after the trade, they became a better team. They got the chemistry. They feeling each other, and they ready for the NBA Finals. But I will say this: if the Cavaliers or the Hawks do make the finals, I don't think they win a championship. I said it before, but honestly, if the Clippers lose to the Rockets, I think Golden State goes to the finals and beat the Cavs or the Hawks. Now, if the Rockets, if the Golden State Warriors lose to the Clippers, I think the Clippers then will win the championship. So that's a little prediction. I don't think the Cavs and the Hawks, the way they've been playing, good enough to win, and their defense has been so-so. I don't really think they got enough to beat who comes out the West. But we'll see what happens as the playoffs goes, because they can get more comfortable, they can get more consistent. They still playing, so the Cavaliers and the Hawks can become better teams because they playing each other. So we gonna see how they play in the next round, because right now the Rockets, the Clippers, and the Warriors have been playing a lot better than the Hawks and the Cavs. So we gonna have to see, but I think Golden State has been playing the best, especially in the Pelican series and the last two games. The first game in the last two games against the Memphis Grizzlies, the Golden State Warrior has been the best team. They have the best bench in the playoffs remaining. They got the best chemistry, and honestly, they just offensively better than every team, and they defensively they can match up against anybody. So right now, I'm picking Golden State as the favorites to win the championship, like I did before the playoffs start. I had the Spurs winning it all, but they went down. And now I think the Golden State Warriors are the best team to win a championship. So let me know what you guys think. If the Clippers play the Warriors and they beat them, then I think the Clippers proved they beat the Spurs. They beat the Warriors. I think the Clippers going to be the best team in that and coming out for the championship. And that's surprising because I didn't think they was a championship contender this year. But Doc Rivers been coaching his ass off. But he blew the last two games in the Rockets. So let me know what you guys think. Comment, like, subscribe, and share. And I'm picking the Cavaliers in 6.